Yes, now people, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome back to another episode of what we like to call the LFC Talk Show. As always, I am brought with you with the man to my to my left, Alex, and then we've got Doyle below me. Not like that. I know that you like to, but you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean.
No.
Not like that, but you know,
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, guys. Hey,
nothing wrong with it at all.
My video is underneath your video, lads.
In virtual terms, you are below me.
Not like that,
Correct.
but nothing wrong with it. If you like that, nothing wrong with it.
Exactly, Alex. Not like that, because
no,
you know I don't swing that way. You know, and that's absolutely fine. It's fine if you do.
Exactly, because there is nothing wrong with it. Exactly.
Nothing wrong with it, and there's not, and we're not even taking the piss. We're not, because there's nothing wrong with it. No, we're establishing, just in case if anyone has any doubt, there is fucking nothing wrong with it. You're fucking too right. Big up everyone who is in the stream as well, by the way. Big up yourselves, all the Redmond's army. Make sure you go and subscribe to the COP TV if you don't already. And go follow the boys on the socials as well. That's obviously all there. It looks like my internet is going all buggy, but we hope for the best and we probably get the worst. But, you know, we move. Boys, Liverpool are shit at the moment. Now, you know, it's one of them things where this is where I don't like doing this job, Alex. And I blame you because you're a big reason why I started to post them more. No, you're a big reason why I started to post them more. Therefore, the reason why I'm feeling shit and terrible right now is because of you. It's because of you.
I agree with that, Gilly.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't have to talk about football as much if it weren't for you, Gilly. I'd talk about something and then it's done.
What the fuck? I am sorry for inspiring you to work harder, okay? It's my fault.
No,
sorry.
You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. How dare you? How dare you?
I have a direct... So your work rate has a direct influence to the on-pitch shenanigans, let's call them, of the Redmen.
Listen, Alex, don't you dare. Listen, you might have inspired me to end up... No, listen, don't you dare start as if you've just inspired me to start a career in YouTube. Listen, you're making me feel like shit now talking about it all the time. Nah, big up, Alex. Because even though you inspired me and all that, mate, I just don't like talking about it. But the first thing that we are going to talk about... It's not nice to talk
about the fact that we're shit now. It isn't nice. I feel your pain. As a Liverpool... content creator, YouTuber, it's never nice to get on camera. In fact, it's the last thing you want to do.
Lads, every single time we lose or we draw, I'm like, I can't be asked, Gilly, don't make me do this, lads.
Yeah, and I'm there like...
You're coming on, lad. I'm like, I've got to do this, lad. I've got to...
Nah, that's it.
Sorry, man.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, let's start off the video with we're going to talk about the Liverpool-Manchester United game, just our final. I know we don't want to do it, but we've got to. You know, there's still a few positives to take, I suppose, but yeah, we'll dive through that. Then we're going to talk about the Mohamed Salah situation. For people who don't know, we'll run through it. But basically, this talks, he's came out and spoke about that he wants to stay at the club and he wants to sign a new contract and whatnot. But like I said, we'll go deeper into it because there's many factors that come into that. We're going to talk about FSG. You know, what's your stance with FSG? Where do you feel like we are with them? Is it coming to a sort of end with them? And also with the fact that it's looking like they're not backing Klopp as much as he'd want. So we're going to talk about whether maybe it's a possibility. And I'm not saying this is what I want, just a possibility that this could maybe start to be the end of Jurgen Klopp's reign. Because if he doesn't get back, then how is he supposed to do his job? Do you hear what I'm saying? But all that and more in this episode. But don't worry, we'll try and make it a little bit more positive as well. We'll start off on the Liverpool-Man United game. And just to sum it up dead quick before I get into anything, just before I get into anything, it's one of them things, yeah. Like, what are you laughing at, Doyle?
You're like, it's going to get more positive, lad. And you went,
no,
so to start off, the Liverpool game, innit, lad? Got a load of positivity in there, lads.
Doyle. I know, mate, I know. But we're going to try and make it a laugh of while we can. Yeah, do you know what? Here's a bit of positivity. Alisson and Fabinho, boss.
And Thiago, lads.
Thiago was good. He was good, but he was kind of neutralised in the game. The real talking point is Alisson and Fabinho.
He was boss, but I did think that Thiago for them first 30 minutes, lad, dominated the game, bro. He was literally doing everything, pulling all the strings, lad. So I feel like he needs to mention, lad. He definitely
no, 100%. He was certainly one of our better players. You can't dispute that, Thiago. You know when he steps on the pitch, he's just a baller.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when you say there, let's talk about Alisson and Fabinho, it's like, I'd much prefer that we were talking about Mane and Salah. So that goes to show that we're actually focusing on two players that we knew are amazing anyway, but unfortunately they're the defensive players, a goalkeeper and a centre back at the minute. So I'd much rather be going, oh, what a goal from Mane. That was the 5th one. Did you see that back heel? Fucking De Gea had to walk off embarrassed. I'd much rather be talking about that. But it doesn't surprise me that Fabinho and Alisson played well because they are two of our best players. I think Fabinho, that run that Rashford had, just epitomised his knowledge of how to do it. I mean, do you know what that reminded me of? Do you remember when Moussa Sissoko ran through for Tottenham and Van Dijk put him on his left foot and was like, go ahead, have a shot because you're not scoring and I'm not letting you go on your right foot, so you might as well just have a shot. It was almost like that. Fabinho has gone like, you can pass it through to Cavani now, or if you want, I'm going to run the whole way with you and block you out and you're not going to get a shot away. And that's what he did. Unbelievable, the defending. And then from that corner that they got, I think Alisson makes a huge save. So, yeah, listen, we'll talk about how great they are all day, but unfortunately, they're not the two people that I'd like to be talking about right now.
No, listen, no one wants to be talking about clean sheets.
If that makes sense.
When you're not scoring goals, you don't want to be talking about clean sheets. But to start off with a positive, that's a massive positive.
It's nice to know you can rely on them.
And without them,
that's what I mean. You can totally rely on them too, man.
Boys, sorry, let me just say this. Without them, we are fucked. Like Alisson and Fabinho against Manchester United, we don't have a chance of getting a point out of that game. There's no doubt about it. There was even an interception that Fabinho made in that game that was just crucial. I think it would have been Rashford who might have been through on goal if the pass was fully made. And Fabinho, just the awareness that he has. And let me tell you something about Fabinho. He's not just class. He's not just world class. He's not just another level. The fact he can adjust in one of the most difficult leagues when it comes to attacking players and whatnot. He's one of the most reliable, most sort of versatile players that you can get within that position. And, you know, this is a great comment here from Ash where he says, the problem is without Fabinho and Henzo in the midfield, we don't win the ball high enough up the pitch. And that's a fantastic point, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Obviously, playing them centre-back doesn't help in that aspect of things. And we're going to talk about the attack more in a second, like you mentioned, Alex. But I just thought, do you know what? If we are going to pick out any positives, because there's not really any more. Henderson had a good game. Thiago had a sound game. But if I'm talking about two key players that saved us and actually it made us deserve that draw even more, it's Fabinho and Alisson. And they're fantastic and always have been. And just think, if we didn't sell Coutinho, we don't have them. Yeah. So it's one of them things, like even though Coutinho would be great right now for our team, offensively, you know, without him going, we wouldn't have got all these like Van Dijk, Fabinho and Alisson. So go on, Doyle.
Fab is player of the season for us so far, lad. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is the player of the season for us. I don't see anyone else that's matched his work rate. Not only his work rate, but his just sheer dynamicness and his ability to adapt and play in different positions and do a massive, fantastic job. So for me, he's player of the season so far. I know it's a shame, like what Gilly's saying, that we have to make defenders player of the season, which is heavy. Yeah. But it's the way our season's going at the moment, lad. So,
defo. This is a great point from my boy Alex. Shout out to yourself, Alex. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. People, he's my brother. But Fabinho is the best centre back in the world, and I can get on board with that. Listen, this is a CDM who, if you look at the defensive records when he plays against, and bear in mind he's playing next to different partners every week. Sometimes that's Reece Williams, sometimes that's Nat Phillips. Maybe he's, but you could give him a shout the best centre back in the world.
He's the best central midfielder centre-back in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not many of them, Doyle, so you can put him up there with the best centre-backs as well.
It's a listen, I can't wait for him to get out of that.
Why? Because he's only played there for half a season, bro.
But he's a world-class defender, and we already knew that before.
He's definitely a great defender of the football, and he's played in the defending position all his career, lad. He played right back for ages. Because he's not a defender, bro. He's a midfielder.
No, he is a defender. He's a defensive
He is
midfielder.
now. He's a makeshift defender, lad. So he's fantastic. In the form that he's in right now, he's playing as one of the best defenders, definitely. But I wouldn't say he's the best defender in the world. Like that would be
I wouldn't. I think maybe the defender. You know what I'm like? You're fucking hell, mate. I've said some things before in my time. That being said, I just think it shouldn't be shrugged off. Like, Fabinho, for me, should be in team of the year with his circumstances and with how good he's played. I'm not even just going off circumstances, but that's got to come into factor as well. Another thing that...
Do you know what, though, bro?
Go on.
Sorry, just to say this. Like, the fact that we're even talking about Fabinho being the best centre-back in the world really pains me, because he just shouldn't be playing there. And I cannot wait for him not to play at centre back, if that makes sense. Like, I genuinely think, and we'll definitely speak on this more as the show goes on, but when we get our centre backs back, it's game over. It is game over.
But yeah, I agree.
And the whole, but you know what, whole bad Alex, energy goes back to where it was, in my opinion.
Do you know where you might be slightly wrong though, Alex, is that this poor form's been kind of happening for a little bit of a while now. Even from lockdown coming back, we haven't been in fantastic form. Even defensively, we haven't been great. We conceded however many to Man City. I know we'd won the league and we'd have a bender the night before, but we can only look at what you can go off. However many to them, we conceded 7 to Aston Villa. Van Dijk played both of them games. There's been other games we conceded 4 to Leeds. Van Dijk made a mistake in that game. I'm not saying it's one of them where we go back to normal, but I think there's further problems, and this is why I want to delve into the attack. Obviously, Salah, Mane, and Firmino right now. If I say my opinion, and people get in the live chat what you all think about them, boys, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But Mane was the best of a shit bunch against United, is my opinion. That's my first thought. Next off, Salah is not... This is the weirdest sort of Salah I've seen probably since he's joined Liverpool, because he's still very good usually at creating things for himself. It's not just one of them. Salah is just one who feeds off other people's, through balls. Like, he does that, but he also can skip past a few plays. And recently, Luke Shaw had him all game, mate. It was embarrassing. It was him. And Luke Shaw's a very good fullback, but you wouldn't think he would have dominated him like the way he did. And Firmino, he's not a striker. I don't know when people are going to get it into people know this now, but I mean, it took a while for people to notice. He's not a striker. He's not a goal scorer. He shouldn't be wearing the number 9. And to be honest, it's getting to a point where his inconsistency is leading me to feel like I don't even want to see him in the starting 11. So even though on his day is brilliant, his day doesn't come enough. It's like Paul Pogba. Like, he's a great player. Recently he's been in fantastic form, but how often does his day usually come? So it's like, I don't want players to have a certified spot in this team. What did you make of their performance, Alex, against United?
I agree that if we're looking at all three of them, Mane was the best out of all three, best of a bad bunch. Yeah, Salah just seems to be scared of running past people and taking them on now. I think Luke Shaw really did well. I mean, I don't think Luke Shaw is that great, to be honest, but I did think he had a good game.
He had a great game. He was Salah. The best player on the pitch.
There's definitely an argument to say that. But for me, man, like with the Firmino, I mean, we were having these conversations, and then he pops up at Palace, scores 2 incredible away goals, and then beats Tottenham in the last minute, and we're thinking, oh, we've got Bobby back, and now we're in this predicament again, where if he scores the winner against Burnley on Thursday night, we're all going to be saying, get him, he has to start every game again and all this stuff. So I just think the next 4 games for us, bro, Burnley, we've got United on Sunday in the FA Cup, but in terms of the league, we've got Tottenham next week.
We'll talk about like the future fixtures in a bit. Just right now, what did Liverpool sort of, because I'm looking at it right now. It's the same front three that in 17, 18
exactly. It doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense.
Now it's just not linking together. And I feel like people are mentioning Jota, people are mentioning other things. And, just dead quick as well, by the way, Black Dragon, I disagree with this. I don't think Robbo should be playing centre-back whatsoever. That was just a comment that stood out. And just in case anyone agrees with that. But anyway, I feel like a lot of people, Doyle is focusing on Jota coming back and putting too much pressure on his shoulders, essentially, because even though I feel he's going to be the one who's probably going to get our goals, it's just, are we putting too much pressure on Jota, and is it one of them that the strikers are just out of form right now, and we're just going to have to wait until they do get back into form?
Yeah, it is that, lads. It's the second one. So the reason why we're not scoring goals, lads, is if you look at these players, that all their heads are down. And I don't mean like just like they're feeling down. I mean like their heads are down because they just want to score a goal. They're so determined to score a goal. They're not passing it at the right moments. They're not making the right decisions in the right moments. So they're doing silly things. Like we've seen examples of it against Man U. Firmino had 2 good through balls to do, lad, and he just never done them. He just never done them. Shaq had a few through balls, and he just never done them, lad. We're just so determined to get that goal because we haven't had one for a few games and we haven't been flowing, that we're not actually playing football the way we actually play football, if that makes sense. We're just too focused on goal, and until we start scoring goals again, that's when they'll start picking their heads up and start looking around and doing the things that they're good at, moving around and playing that dynamic triangle that they play and bouncing off each other. But right now, lads, they're all being, like, Salah's greedy, bro. They're not passing. Like, when Bobby is making the passes for them, the runs aren't very, very good. It's just one of them type of things where no one's sinking at the moment. So Diogo Jota, what he might do is just get them to, they might lose a place in the team. So they might want to look up next time, or they might want to work that little bit harder because of that. That's the only thing I can see of him affecting it. Of course, he's going to score goals, but it's more about the effect that he's going to have on the other three, because he can't do everything on his own. They need to start scoring goals, lad. Simple as that. They're
all out of form. It's just like, I don't know, Alex. I don't
Scary,
know
lads. It's terrifying.
It's one of them things. This is me. Salah still has a great scoring season. He might have had a few off games, but he still has a great season in terms of getting his goals and getting the numbers, as he always does. Mane has still had performances, but this has probably been his poorest start to a season, arguably, since he's joined the club. And same with Bobby Firmino. Trent is another conversation as well, because he's massive to our offense. So that's another thing. Great point. But when you're talking about our sole front three, usually they can still get goals by themselves. Sometimes you don't even need Trent. Now there's just no fluidity.
No.
I almost feel like I totally agree with Doyle. Everyone's so desperate to score that we're just not making the right decisions. The decision making has been scrambled.
Too many touches.
That's it. Because they're trying to walk in, their decision making in the final third has been scrambled by the fact that they're all so desperate to score, and that doesn't work. If you just relax and take your time a bit and find that the right thing to do instead of playing it out wide or having a shot, find that right thing to do in the final third, and I guarantee the goals will flow again. On Thursday, if we win 3 or 4-0, I guarantee we'll go on a great run of form again. I guarantee it. But it's just who's going to score that duck? Who's going to get that first goal to open the floodgates?
Well, we did that against Crystal Palace, lad, and it's not happened again. After we scored 7 goals against them, lad, we scored 7 goals, and now that's why I'm worried. Right. I'm
being hopeful more than realistic, because everything this season in terms of having a great performance, we just haven't backed it up in the next game. So it's so crucial now with these 3 or 4 next games in the league. Just win all of them, get a little run together, and that's when you'll see Jota coming back, Matip coming back, Virgil back in training, and all of a sudden, if we can win the next few, it seems like our season's kind of reigniting again with all these big names coming back. So, next month is huge.
I want to read this comment from Taylor. Reckon we should start attacking instead of Bobby and need Shaqiri in midfield. He's class. Now, I'm only reading out that comment, not because I agree with the whole thing, because it's on, to be honest with you, but obviously, the Redmond's army, get your thoughts in, because this is why we play with these types of things. That being said, I don't agree with Taki coming into the team, surely for the fact that I don't think he's good enough. I don't mind bringing him on off the bench if that's what we want to do, but I don't think he's good enough to start. Shaqiri.
Which position, though?
Shaqiri, before I say that, Shaqiri, midfield for me, yes. At least right now, with all these injuries, Jota isn't back in the team. Even though it was only for half an hour, and don't get me wrong, players need to be better and be able to maintain fitness for longer than just half an hour. The professional footballers, for God's sake. However, he added a little spark that this team just hasn't had since the Palace game, as you mentioned. As for Taki, I don't think he gives us that spark. I don't think he gives us much more of a spark than Firmino does. I'd rather see Origi play, and he's not that great. I would. That's not even like a funny thing to say. Origi's a better player than Minamino. He can hold the ball better than Minamino. He's just lazier.
Yeah, he definitely.
He's a striker, though, isn't he? He is. He's an out striker.
Oh my God! Thank you, Alex. You're magic. Oh my goodness, boys! He's a striker, and he's the only one we fucking got.
I said that, didn't I, lad? I said maybe in the summer we should be looking at a striker, lad. Like, seriously looking at one. Like, paying big money. Get someone stupid in, lad. Just Haaland, like we got Thiago in. Maybe, lad. Get Mbappe, get Mbappe.
Chelsea are looking at...
That's not
I know, lad.
Yeah, you know what? Before we start having all fun like that, I want to talk about the half-time whistle before we move on, because I want to talk about the Mo Salah situation.
Oh, lad.
What's your thoughts, dead quick, because I do want to talk about this Mo Salah.
When he blew the whistle early.
Yeah, blew the whistle before that.
Heavy, lad. It's heavy. That's
It's
the type of
bollocks,
thing
man.
that was going on all game, bro. Again, listen to the
Before
commentators.
before you get into it, before you say your point, I just want to quickly say, disclaimer, we're not saying we deserve a result because of this, but we should have been given the right in that moment to continue and have a chance. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that we would have went on and scored, but let's be real, it's a one-on-one, so we rate our chances and we deserve that chance. Right, go on, Doyle.
Yeah, everything that you just said, echo to that. But what I would say, even the commentary of that game, lad, all the stupid decisions that were going on. Harry Maguire was throwing himself on the floor, lad, against Salah, and Salah was literally had his arms up, not touching him, lad, and he would throw himself on the floor.
That was a joke, that was.
Bro, it was winding me up. You seen the commentators, Gary Neville,
backing his arse into him.
Both of them, lad. It was like Man U fan TV or something, lad. Just watching that, it was horrible. And that's what the league feels like when you're playing against Man U. When you see stuff like that, 5 seconds to go, and he blows the whistle. That's heavy, proper heavy, lads.
For me, it's like that ref. I don't know if you boys kept an eye on him. He was laughing and smiling way too much for me in that game. I don't know if you noticed this, but you know when he was chatting with the players and that, he'd always be smiling. And I'm like, what are you smiling about, you little rat? And then also the head of the refs, can't remember what his name is now, but he came out and said, if there's 1 minute added on at the end of the half, you have to play at least 1 minute. And then after that, if there's a chance 10 seconds, 15 seconds after, then you're well within your rights to say, hold your whistle here and go, right, if you don't get this ball into the box and create a chance now, I'm going to blow my whistle. But to do it 5 seconds before. And what you were saying about Mane being through on goal, brother, I reckon 80% chance we score there. 80%.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Through. He was well onside. All he needs to do is curve his run across Maguire and he finishes the goal. We're 1-0 up. We might win the game. Like you said, we're not saying this has cost us the game. But
yeah, this is one thing.
The referee's got to get a slap in the office.
No, do you know what though?
To
a few of the neutrals in
they'll get a pat
comments.
On the back, lad.
No, do you know to a few of the neutrals in the comments? And thank you for coming in. Honestly, mate, the fact you're spending your time to watch this show is boss. That being said, I think a few people misunderstand. Like, this isn't the first referee decision this season that's made us raise an eyebrow, and rightly so. There's been many factors that have came into this season where we've just gone, what the fuck's going on here? Because it's happening nearly every game where there's a decision that we have to question from the referee. And even though that happens in other games of football as well, it doesn't seem to be happening as frequent as it is with us. So you say you're just salty. And how are we salty when we're just bringing up a point? Alex just made a great point. The referee rules is it's supposed to go on for at least a minute. At least, and we've got 4 seconds remaining in the half. I understand 4 seconds isn't the longest of times, but listen, mate, Mane's quick. He can get from way beyond the halfway line to the net.
All he needs.
And listen, if you're through on goal, the referee should give you the right to carry on.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Definitely.
You know that fella.
I just don't get it, mate. I think it's there's something to it. I don't like conspiracy theories, but there's something weird going on, and you can understand Klopp's frustration for that.
Virgil got karate kicked everywhere, lad.
And no discipline. Without even bringing it up, I don't think Pickford should go to jail for any of that bullshit. But it's one of them things. The minimum thing he should have got is a 3-game ban. That's what I thought was right. I'm done out about it, but that's another example of plus many more of what Liverpool over this year.
Brighton. You know the fella, to sum this up, and then we can move on, right? With this time 4 seconds thing. You know the fella at Anfield, bless him. He's been there absolutely years, but he's got a very monotone voice when he goes number 8. Steven Gerrard. You know that fella? It gives the fucking clue away when he shouts over the tannoy. There will be a minimum of 1 minute. He's just said the word minimum there. Yeah? Not maximum of. He said the word minimum. You should be giving us a minimum of a minute to score you.
No, that's facts, defo. I agree 100%, boys. Leading into Mo Salah then, and obviously the situation around that. For those who don't know, he's just came out with a quote, and this isn't the quote that he said a couple of weeks ago. This is a new, more fresh one, at least from my knowledge. Basically, he's come out and said that he's more than happy to extend a contract with the club to stay at Liverpool as long as that's what the club want to do, essentially. Now, there's 2 sides to this, boys, before I ask you. Are you happy about this information and would you want Mo Salah to extend the contract? The first argument is, for me, I think Mo Salah is very much certainly in his prime. I don't think anyone can dispute that, whether it's the start of it, the end of it. I feel like he's in there, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's got a couple of years left there. So if we do extend the contract with Mo, great for that reason, because if a club wants to come in for him, it only hires his price. It allows us to make sure we've definitely got our man. He's in good form, even though he's 29. I feel like people look too much in the age of 30. He's still going to be good for another 2 or 3 seasons, in my opinion. But then the argument is, well, say he's only good for this season and next year, and we sign a 3-year extension on top of his deal that finishes in 2023. Say we sign an extension onto that, and he doesn't do well. We lose a lot of money, because right now, if we sold Mo Salah or in the summer or the summer after, we're getting a good chunk of money. Whereas we leave it a few years, are we falling into a position where we could maybe, we don't want to be giving old players a lot of money, because you've seen what happened with Arsenal. They've got stuck in a few situations, literally just with Mesut Ozil. I know it's not going to be the same, but there's examples there. So I want to know your thoughts, given that perspective, and then 2 sides of the argument.
No, it's not going to happen.
What's not going to happen?
The way they're not signing contracts like Genie, for example. I feel like they're not offering players a lot of money. That's why Genie's getting off, lad. They're not offering the older players that a lot of money. So
that one's a disgrace, though. That one.
I know it is, bro.
Genie's 30 and he's got 6 months left.
I know, lad.
No, but you can even give Genie. No, sorry, let me just say this: 2 years you can give Genie. You can give him 2 years.
I would. I definitely would. Like, I'd love to, lad, because he's my favourite player for Liverpool, lad. You know that.
So,
but I know. You know what it's like, though, lad. They're not going to give.
No, but what's your thoughts on the Salah thing? Because obviously we know that Genie Wijnaldum's pretty much gone. But what's your thoughts on the Mo Salah situation?
I want Salah to stay, lad. I would happily pay him some wages for the next few seasons. I feel like the way the players play nowadays, they're super, super fit, lad. Especially players like Mo Salah, bro. He is a fit guy, lad. You see them, so they can keep going past the 30s nowadays. It's not it's not when you're 30 you're done. It's not like that anymore.
I agree, man.
It's really not, lad. So I feel like give him an extension on his contract. If he doesn't want a extra bit of money or anything, then just keep him on the high wage, lad.
Nah, this is the thing. I'm assuming if he was to sign a new contract, he's going to probably, because he's currently on more money, 250k a week. He's probably going to want about 300 to 350, I'd assume. So with that being in mind, Alex, what do you think?
Get him a new contract. Simple as that.
Alex, let me give you this analogy before you say what you're about to say. If I'm Mo Salah and I'm 29, recently I've been showing a little bit of bad form, even if it's only 4 games, but you know that I'm closer to the end than what I am at the start. That being said, I come to you saying, right, my current deal ends in 2023, but I want a 2 or 3 year extension and I want 300 grand a week. Are you okay with giving me that?
I would go like this. Right, let's just look at your stats then since you've joined to see if you deserve this money.
But it's about the future,
though,
then
I go, no worries. We'll do it.
I hear what you're saying. And you know what? I agree with you, but I've just got to play devil's advocate. So Steven Gerrard, do we just give him 300 grand because of what he's done in the past and he deserves it? I know it's not a great analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying.
You've got to focus on the future.
He's going to be effective as well.
Is, Doyle makes a great point about when you get to 30, people just think you're done. Have we all seen Salah's body? Yeah. Is that a body that you would call a 30-year-old? And forget that. He's going to be playing until he's 38, 39, in my opinion. But when was the last time, lads, and this is a genuine question to the two of you, yeah? When was the last time our star player came out and said, I'm happy to sign a deal, but it's down to Liverpool? Let's not forget, every star player we've had in the last 10 years, they've gone, I don't want to sign a contract, I'm off. We should be lucky that Salah is saying, oh yeah, I'm desperate to stay. Give me the contract, I'm there for you. When have we ever had that? They all go, I've reached the peak here, I'm fucking off. They all say that.
And do you know what else he's saying? He's saying, I want to win trophies, I want to break records. And do you know what? Who else in this squad? Even if he is on bad form, I don't give a fuck, because Salah has been given a lot of stick since joining Liverpool, and he's been our most influential player, and I don't think many people can argue that. Them goals only speak for themselves. People can say he's a stat padder. Don't give a fuck, mate. I've saw him on the pitch for 90 minutes, and he's a great footballer, and he's done great things for this club. Without him, Champions League, Mo Salah is a massive part, so I agree. Similar reasons for Genie. With what he's done, he deserves that contract, but also what I feel he can do in the near future. And I feel like he can do it for 2 or 3 seasons.
But for once, we've got a player who's committed to us. Let's show us our commitment to him. For once, we've got someone that is saying, and I don't care if you're Mo Salah or you're Nico Williams. If you come out and say, I desperately want to stay at Liverpool, we've got to keep these players. There you go. Only committed players needed. Let's keep the ones that want to stay with us. If you don't want to stay with us, fuck off. Get out now. Because that's what Coutinho did. That's what Chan did. Suarez, Torres, all of these players, bro. Mascherano, Alonso, they didn't want to stay. So we got rid. Here we have a world star who can easily play into his late 30s saying, I want to stay. And we're all sitting here going, should we give him a new... He wants to stay, so fucking reward him.
Give him a new contract. I agree.
If you don't want to stay,
he wants to retire. He's basically retiring at Liverpool. Well, not retiring, but retiring.
When was the last time? Like, we can't even say that about Gerrard, can we?
It's a good example of how you can look after your legends as well, lads.
We can't even say about Gerrard that we kept him until right at the end, because we didn't. The only player we can say that about is Carragher, but he hardly scored 30 a season, did he? You know, even Gerrard we couldn't reward. Let's just change the narrative and reward players who want to stay.
Listen, man, I agree. Fucking hell, like that comment was sums up. Only committed players is what I want in Liverpool facts. So this is a comment here from Grace. Shout out to Grace, by the way, the main man himself. When Ferguson got the best out of players, so I'm assuming this is something that he said, he knew when to shift them on. We've seen the best years from our front three. Fourth season together already. None of them will top the seasons they've had. Now, I think that's a sound point to many extents. Now, before we do go further into that point, we have got a super chat that I don't want to miss. So from Alex, a shout out to yourself, brother. Of course, Liverpool are still in the title race. Just keep your feet on the ground, and it's not like last season, 20 plus points. Right, we'll talk about that as well, Alex, because that's a topic in the show. But for that first comment that I brought up, boys, it's a good point. The way Sir Alex stayed on top was, even when world-class players were no longer done, they will go on and replace them and improve in that position. And that's how Man United maintained success for all them years, it's never been done since, and it weren't really done before to that extent. So,
well, they still kept players till they were really old. They had Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes.
There's a few examples, but there's also many, like Van Nistelrooy. He weren't finished when he actually left United.
The point is, you still need some of them talismans in the team to keep it going, bro. And they kept that in the team to keep that experience. So maybe Mo Salah's going to be one of them type of players that's going to be influential for the next 5 years at Liverpool, because he wants to stay. He's done it all, and he can help the next generation of players. That's what Gary Neville did. That's what Paul Scholes did. That's what they did. You know what I mean? So I don't see a problem with keeping some of our spine.
I agree with it. But at the same time, I disagree with the fact that we've seen the best of them. I think, listen, they're obviously all out of form right now, but I think personally we've still got the rest of this season and the whole of next season as them as the front three. And that's a big statement, but I still think we can squeeze 2 more years out of them, and then we can reevaluate. But 6 years, they've been together 4 years now. Make it 6 and just see what we can squeeze out with these lads, and then we go again.
Yeah, right. I want to bring up something there. Alex, you suggested that this front three could last for another 2 or 3 seasons. By the way, shout out to the 250 people that are in the stream right now. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you smash the likes. Absolute legends. Go and follow the boys. Make sure you go and subscribe to the Cop TV as well. But one thing you mentioned there, Alex, is the front three. The one thing I disagree with, and I agreed with a lot of what you said there, my mate. The only thing I will is I don't want to see that exact front three. Mane, get on this. Mane, yes. Salah, yes.
It's only because you haven't got a small Bobby, man.
and it's because I haven't got Bobby, but I also don't want to see Bobby in that front three from next season. I'm not saying the team. If you want to try and fit him into a number 10, but boys, he's not showing me enough. It's been a season and a half now.
Give him till the end of the season, brother. Give him till the end of the season.
But Alex, we said this at the end of last season. Let's see what he can do at the start of next year. It still continues. It's gone longer than what we'd all expected. He had a good run of form a couple of weeks ago. He's had a drop off since.
In my head, right?
He still can't finish his dinner.
17-18 season. I mean, Salah scored 40-something. Mane scored 25-something. But that season, in all comps, Bobby scored 28 goals in 17-18, yeah? Now, I do think that was an unreal season on his standards, but I'm quite happy if let's get Mane and Salah on 25 each, and then as long as Bobby's putting 10 to 15 on the board, I'm not that arsed. As long as he's making the goals for these lads to get 20 to 25 to 30 each, you can get away with 14 for me every season.
Yeah, I agree.
How
Because
many assists has he got this season?
I don't know his numbers, brother. I reckon he scored about four.
You
I
carry on your point and then I'll get it up.
Have a look. Yeah, but do you agree, though? I think as long as he at least pops up with 14 important kind of clutch goals across the season, he deserves his place there.
Well, yeah, because it's not all about the stats of goals and assists.
Doyle, even if people in the chat could let us know the stats of Bobby Firmino, that'd be fantastic. But I'm going to try and get them up. Sorry, Doyle, carry on.
I think that if he creates the goal scoring chances for the other players, then he's proven why he should be in the team. It's not all about getting assists and goals. He's the type of player that pulls the strings and creates chances. The thing is, though, we've got Thiago and we do have Shaq now as well. So it's going to be difficult for Bobby going forward, I think, if he doesn't have the effect that he used to have on the game. And it's not happening for him at the moment because Manny and Salah are just not scoring, lad. We can't score. So, and neither is he, lad. And he's making the wrong decisions now as well, himself.
This season. So, wait there. Let me just make sure I've got this right. So, it's the 2021 season, I'm correct in saying that. Yeah. So, in 26 games, he's got 5 goals and 3 assists.
Heavy.
Listen, boys, for me...
That's heavy.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
And I love Bobby, and I understand it's not his job, man. It's not his job to get goals. But he's not even that link-up play. It's being overrated for a good few months now. Like
the number 9 position needs to be scored, lad. Simple as that. If you're playing number 9 in any football team, your goal is to score goals, lad. That's your job.
Maybe we should never have given him that number, man. Maybe he should have just stayed on 11.
I think we should have. I think it was the exact right thing to do at that moment when we had 2 prolific goal scorers.
He deserved it.
Great, yeah. But right now, it's shifting. We're having different players. We've got different midfielders. You watch Thiago, he goes directly through the middle of the pitch, lad. We need a centre forward that's going to create something that's going to either do runs or bounce off, or someone that's can just go score goals.
In that case, then we need to change the whole system. Then, if we're going to do that,
that's what I think. At the moment,
yes. Well, maybe do we need to start thinking about doing that though, Alex? Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe
we can't just live. Even though we've just had 3 absolutely wonderful seasons that I'm never going to forget in my lifetime, and I very, very rarely think I'm never going to see football like that again. However, if there is a chance, we might need to start thinking about improving and changing things around.
We might need to, but that could stop us from winning the league in that transition period. So I think our best. Yeah. Our best bet right now is to stick with what we got. And sounds bad, boys, but we just got to hope it works out because we don't have time now to start changing the system in this season anyway. We've just got to keep going and eventually, because this does happen, like all of their forms, all of them individually are like this. But then there are some games where all of the stars align and all 3 of them have belter games. When that first game back does happen, I do seriously believe that we won't have too much to worry about and this conversation won't be happening again. But unfortunately, that's the best we've got right now. We've got to keep playing it until it works. Literally. If we want to change the system, we'd do that next year. But this season, we've got to work with what we got.
Got to work with what you got. Yeah, man. And just before we go into the next topic, just to end this one, I think this is an all right comment to kind of give you a little bit of insight of what I think about the whole thing. So not having Fabinho in midfield is massive. I think that can contribute to the lack of success in the attack. I don't think it's the sole.
100%.
I don't think it's the sole factor, and it still does not excuse because I've still brought up the fact we take way too many touches in that box. There was a moment where I think it was Salah had a chance against De Gea in the Man United game,
and he took a touch.
Took 5 touches too many. You should have shot by then. So what are you doing? In fact, yeah, you're right. He should have hit it first time. So it's one of them things. The minute you take a touch, you take him 1-0.
Do you know why he took that touch? Do you know why he took that touch?
It doesn't matter why he took that touch. He shouldn't.
No, but he took it. He took it because he's desperate to score, brother. That's why.
It, man. That is it, and that can't be the case. Jurgen needs to get it into the heads, man. But I think this is a great point, though, 100%. Boys, so on to the next thing. FSG. So we're what date is it? The 19th. So we're 10 days, just under away from the transfer window shutting, and we still haven't got a centre back. We haven't got any enforcement in terms of the attack, which, to be fair, we haven't been asking for. But basically, we're in the same position as what we was leading into January. I want to know what you think about. Well, I want to know what your stance is on FSG as a whole, and I also want to get your thoughts on will this affect possibly Jurgen Klopp's remainder? Back then, what job can he do? He can only do so much, is what I'm being right. So I want to hear your thoughts. And while you say your explanation, I'm just going to quickly get a water because man has got your oil lips. But yeah, you may continue.
I think this is the first time where I've ever gone, hang on, why are you not just giving him the dough? What's going on here? This is the first time I've ever thought that, because we can't really have that thought for anything that they've done in the past. I mean, every time we've asked for it, they've given it. And sometimes they've given us someone like Jota when we weren't even asking. So let's not try and, forget the fact that FSG have, from the day they came in to right now, put us back on the top of world football, number one team in the world. Yeah. And we were that for a good 18 months.
It's one of them type of things, lads.
FSG. But what I'm saying is, not today, but this transfer window is the first time in their, how many years they've been here? Since 2012, I think. This is the first time in 8 years where I've gone, actually, why are you not backing him? Where's the dough? Because you were doing it for the last 3 years. So what's going on? There must be something, brother. And I don't know.
You could have something lined up. You could have something lined up, lad, like a potential transfer in the summer.
You mean in the next
spend
10
big
days?
money on. They could have the Gomez and Virgil coming back earlier than they think, because there's always reasonings behind what they're going to do. They're making decisions. Maybe their priority is not really to win the league this season. Maybe it's not.
But that's ridiculous, Tom.
That's ridiculous, brother. You can't win the league and then aim to not win it the year after. What the fuck?
It's just added a lot.
Might as well finish 20th. That's your aim.
I agree.
Like, now that we've won it, our aim has to be win the league every single year. So if we need a centre back to help us do that, why are they not freeing up the dough? Just give me the dough.
Give me the dough, please.
It all comes down to that. Give me the dough.
That's it. Hey, listen, Alex is giving us the dough right now, so shout out to yourself. It's right, Alex. See, these are the owners that we need. We need Alex, man. Saying you seem to have recruited me from ransom bands. Shout out to yourself, brother. It's right, man. Nah, I get the point. I never heard the full point of what you said there, but I think I get the gist. Why are you not backing the greatest manager that you could have fucking got at the time that you got him? Listen,
but maybe they are, and we don't know about it.
But we haven't got a centre-back. Like, listen, we can only go off to now, and maybe they might have a centre-back plans or whatever. Maybe in the summer, we're going to go and spend Pondo. I am also aware we are in a pandemic. We are in a crisis that we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, or FXG doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I understand risks are probably more risky to take now than ever. That being said, you do not want to fall into a trap of an Arsenal. You do not want to fall into the trap of a United, where you do not go... Well, to be fair, the difference between us and them as well, they actually reinvested. They just done it poorly. We can reinvest. We're just not... That's the thing. We're doing the opposite thing. We're not reinvesting. We can do it. We've shown we can. We've shown that we can sell water to a drowning man. We sold Brewster to Sheffield for 25 million. We sold Solanke to Bournemouth for 20 million. Like, we know that we can do that type of shit, but we also know that when whenever we buy a player, it's very rarely not works. But even though there's that case, Man United and Arsenal, they're in the opposite effect. But you don't want Liverpool to fall into a trap where we're like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, what can we do now? And if Jurgen Klopp doesn't see the vision, if the board's not backing him, because listen, him playing Henderson is basically Klopp screaming to me and our referee, get me help me, please. Yeah, that's it though, lads. Because you shouldn't have to be there. So get him a centre back. Because
if I was John Henry, we would all like to think that if John Henry was watching that game on Sunday, in his fucking ivory tower, wherever he was watching it from, I don't know, and he sees Klopp starting Henderson, you'd probably go, I think he's telling me there that he wants me to buy him a centre back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, this is a great comment, but I'm also going to shut it down very, very quick. So we've gotten 10 clean sheets in 24 games over both EPL and UCL. That's almost half. Is a centre-back the real problem? I feel we don't spend now and buy a good forward in the summer and maybe a centre-back then. Do you know what? I didn't see the end of that, and that's actually a very good little analogy that you come up with there. But just because that we've got massive issues up front at the moment, bear in mind at the moment, context is a beautiful thing, people, and we're still the top scorers in the league. So just keep that in mind and, think about the form that we've been on. However,
We're still
Even
the top
though
goal scorers in the league.
we're still the top goal scorers in the league, my friends,
Are we?
and that's a fact. Yeah, I mean,
Above
obviously,
City, we score more goals than
yeah,
City.
yeah. As of right now, this time being recorded, I believe that is the case. However, and it's a great point that he makes about the striker, because I'd love a Haaland or an Mbappe, and let's be honest, we don't have the funds for them because we can't even get a centre back right now. But wait, no, we don't. We definitely don't. 100%.
Not them ones.
I can't believe we're saying that, brother.
Not them
we
ones,
have
lad.
got
They're
the
heavy.
don't. We
They're
don't.
dull,
We
lad.
don't.
What? We haven't got 100 mil. We've
They'd
not
be
got
more
100
than
mil.
100 mil, lad.
Well,
They'd be
not
well
right now
more
with
than
all the
100 mil.
circumstances, but let me just finish my point though as well about that before it goes outside my head. Even though right now we're not feeling the consequences of not having a centre back, it doesn't mean you can just forget about that area. We saw how vulnerable we are there. Against West Brom, it cost us a point because Reece Williams had to come on the pitch and he simply weren't good enough. So there is times where it will cost us. Alisson's not always available as well, by the way. So you need a good back. What if Alisson gets injured tomorrow? What, you're just going to trust the back four again? Do you get what I'm saying, though, boys? It's a good point.
Don't say that, though, lads.
Sorry, you say don't say that. You've got to say it, because this is where FSG will get it into the fucking head that they need to go out and get a centre back, because people will start to believe that. They'll watch that performance against United and go, Henderson was boss. You can't just live off that.
You mean they'll get brainwashed into thinking we don't need to do it anymore?
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what businessmen do, lad. They don't like to spend money when they don't have to, lad. But this case is an emergency, lad, and Klopp's like, help me, because I'm playing Endo at centre-back. The fact that we've got Matip, lads, Matip as a centre-back replacement, and he gets injured after playing a match and a half, literally every single time, lad. It's heavy.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
We've got some serious work to do this summer, lads. Like, as much as we are on this kind of unbelievable 3-year run, I do feel like this season Klopp has to go, right, if we want to carry on at the very, very top, I'm really sorry, but I've got to make some very hard decisions. Keita, Matip, you're gone. See you later.
Yeah, man.
Origi, you're gone.
Agree,
see you later. And then next season, it's like almost a new start for us. It could actually be, if we don't win the league this season, and then we don't win it the year after, I think Klopp will go. I do think that.
As one
He
thing,
averages
I want Naby to go.
Naby's got to go.
Klopp does 7 years at his clubs. That's what he does. That's what he done at Mainz. That's what he done at Dortmund. 7 years.
I'm fine with that as well, by the way. This comment from Sean. I'm fine with Ox going.
Yeah, it's fine. Just write down a list of all the players that we haven't been able to rely on. Adrian's going. Ox is going. Keita's going. Naby's gone. Matip's gone. Like, we've just got to say 2 lists: who we can rely on, who we cannot rely on. If we can't rely on you, see you later, and we'll get someone in to replace you. It is that simple, man.
Yeah, because you'll take us down, lads.
This is facts, Matt.
2 lists. 2 lists.
This is the thing I was going to say to you before as well, Alex. We're not a club who's got money when we don't sell players. That's why I'm saying to you, we do not have the money to buy a Haaland or an Mbappe right now, because that's not how FSG spend their money. So if we sell a couple of players, so say for example, if Salah wanted to go, we got 100 to 200 million, and then we could go and fund out for an Mbappe or a Haaland. But say if you sell the players you mentioned, so like a Matip, an Ox, and Naby, then that can cover at least Mbappe's wages, and you can find the money elsewhere. You can try and find some of it down the sides of the couches. Another player, Milner, he's 36, but I love him. This is why I always bring up Gini. So why are we selling Gini, who's 30 years of age, when we've got James Milner, who's 36. I love him. Yeah. I love him, but he's 36. Then you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita, who've probably combined haven't played the game Gini have. They're all
Gini
players.
Wants to go, lads.
They're all players who... No, he doesn't want to go, Doyle. This is where you're getting it wrong. They're all players that need to go before we should think about selling
Agreed.
Gini. And Doyle, you hit the nail on the head. Gini doesn't want to go. It's the club who aren't signing him because he's on that 30 years of age. And it's bollocks. It's bullshit.
I think this whole 30 years of age thing needs to be in the bin, bro, because,
James Milner is 36.
Yeah.
I'm boss.
This is what I'm saying. This is why it needs to go. Everyone used to think, when you're 30, you'll struggle to get a contract. Look at Zidane. He retired at 32. Nowadays, the players, we should be saying the new 30 is 35 now. Because players have proven that they can be fit and stay big in games and big games and come up with the big moments from the age of 30 to 36. Look at Messi and Ronaldo. Let's not even bring in this, he's 30, we can't give him a new deal. If he's still fit, if he wants to play, if he's still good, he still comes up clutch in the big games. Why is age a thing that we're even talking about? I don't care if he's 30 or 32. Give him a new just give him the Zola. Always comes back to me saying that.
Just give him the Zola.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, you look at Gini, he's on 75 grand a week. You've got Milner, who's 36 on 140. So if you let go Milner, that's 140 grand a week you're getting back. You let go Oxlade-Chamberlain, you let go Naby Keita. That combines as another, 250? If you put Oxlade and Naby Keita together, if you put it together, that's about 250 because they're on about 120 each.
He needs to get off
as well. To be fair, I wouldn't sell Matip just yet because it doesn't look like we're going to go out and get 2 or 3 centre backs.
No, I mean in the summer though. In the summer I'd
rather buy a centre back and keep.
Who's going to want to buy Naby Keita, lads? Who's going to want to buy Naby Keita, lad? We bought him for 15 mil.
Teams will want to buy him, not for that price, but teams will want to buy Naby Keita.
We could sell him for 30, sell the Ox for 25. We could sell Matip for 10. And if you add all that up, we're on 60. If we're saying Haaland costs 150, have we not got that 60 there? We've got 90 as well.
That would brighten the horizons for the future
bro,
as well.
We'd win the league. We'd win the league every year.
We'd only get him though if we sell. Origi's got to go. He doesn't get enough play time and does not make any impact when he does play. I agree with that, and it's a shame because we've missed our opportunity to sell Origi in the past, probably the summer for good money.
But he's still only 25, lads.
Yeah,
Origi still has 8 years to play, I think, in that striking position.
Yeah,
and
but what's he showing?
We can get 20 mil for him, brother. We can get 20 mil for Origi. Someone will pay that.
I hope so. I mean, I think that's a more realistic price, like around 15
could buy him for 20 mil.
He wouldn't pay 20. They haven't got 20.
You know what I mean, though? But what I'm saying is, all those names you added up there, they equate to what? 60, 70 mil?
Around
with
there,
that 70 mil, whack on another 70 and then
Naby should be about 30 still, or 25 to 30.
30.
Even though we bought him for 50 million, he should still be 25 to 30. Gini Wijnaldum, not Gini Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain, still squeeze 20. You know what I mean? Get out.
Get 20, 25 tops, yeah.
Yeah, 25 tops. Oxlade, Origi, I think he's about 15, not 20.
15, yeah.
Don't think anyone's paying 20 for him. Matip, if we sold him, I think we would get a decent amount of dough. But bear in mind, we got him for free, so no matter what we sell him for, it's profit. Milner will be free, pretty much, I assume, around there at least. And then maybe 1 or 2 others. You know, soon you'd have to think about Shaqiri. He's not getting any younger, nor playing. You can't let all these players go at once. You know what I mean? We've got quite a
that'd ruin us.
Nah, definitely.
You say we wouldn't get 20 mil for Origi. We sold Solanke for 20 mil.
Yeah, but he was like a young he was a young, promising English, by the way, prospect. Whereas Origi is a Belgian 25-year-old, kind of washed up striker. Not washed up, but he doesn't look good enough in the Liverpool team. That's it, man. From Mo, selling 3 or 4 players just for Haaland or Mbappe doesn't sound practical for squad depth. Very good point from Mo. Boys, I think we're missing a point here. We need, if we're going to go out and let go a lot of players, we also need to think about replacing them players with better squad depth because this season our number 1 problem has been squad depth.
Yeah, Mo's right, but I wouldn't. He's going on like I'm saying we sell all them and only bring in Haaland. No. The priorities are 2, not 1, but 2 centre backs in the summer and a striker. For me, we can cover the rest in midfield. We've got players there, young and old, who can step in. We've got about 7 midfielders we can play in that 3 in the middle. That's fine. Get 2 defenders and get a striker, and that's what we need.
The problem is you have to bleed players in and out. You can't just get rid of 5 players and then bring 5 new players in and expect them to play well because they're not going to. You'd have to let 2 players go, bring 2 players in. Then the next season, let another 2 go and bring another 2 in to make sure that they're implemented and bled into the system properly. Because if you don't do that, lad, players just end up lost and then they don't even fill the potential, lad, because they can't play. They don't know what they're doing. So it's a risky one. We've got to be very careful about how we approach this next few seasons. I do think we should buy someone very, very good. It's massively evident that we need cover at centre-back. That should be the priority for me. I know that, we're not scoring goals, but that comes down to the fact that we're not able to defend properly either. Simple as that. We've got one of the best midfielders playing centre-back. He literally stops everything getting through to counter-attacks. He stops all of that from happening, lad. And not only that, he delivers amazing through balls, lad. Even the one against last time when he played Man United over to the top to Mane. He's a good player, lad. So we just need to get cover for them centre-back positions, wait for Virgil to come back, try and get a good striker, boom, win the league next season.
Yeah. Well, shout out to 300 people being in the LFG talk show. This is coming to you every week with my brothers in Alex and Doyle. Make sure you go and subscribe to the Cop TV if you haven't already and like the video as well. Boys, before we round it up, because Chelsea are about to play Leicester and I want to catch you up with that game.
Can't wait for this.
What's your thoughts on the upcoming fixtures, pretty much? So obviously we've got Burnley on Thursday, then we've got United in the FA Cup, but primarily Burnley on Thursday. Yeah, do you know what? Let me read out our next few fixtures and we'll contextualise it in a sense that, you know, big boy words, fam. Big boy words.
You've been on the dictionary there.
Fucking hell, lads, you've been buying the Collins, so... we'll have a look at them and we'll rate our chances, basically, is what I'm trying to say without trying to sound like a Tory prick. Right, so Liverpool, Burnley. Then you've got, that you know what I mean, that's the type of words. Anyway, Man United in the FA Cup, Tottenham, then we've got West Ham, then we've got Brighton, then we've got City, so on and so forth. How are you feeling about them upcoming games?
Heavy, lad. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Like I said, we had the 7-0 against Crystal Palace, and I thought, we're bouncing back, lad.
Yeah, I thought we were going to win the league. I thought we were going to win the league.
When I think about playing City, you know, with that back line, lad, it makes me sad. Genuinely, lad, I'm just like, I can't be asked to watch that game, lad, because I don't know what I'm going to see. I might see a massacre of our back line, lad, and just our title hopes absolutely dash, lad. So, I'm not looking forward to it, lad. I haven't said that. I can't wait to watch us play Burnley, lad, so we can smoke them and get a few goals, because can't wait to celebrate a goal for Liverpool, lads.
They're a low block.
We've got to hope that we can just score a goal, lad, in the next game. If you don't hope that, you're never going
to This is what Doyle's basically saying, boys, let's go to church.
Yeah.
Let's go to church. Let's pray.
For me, though, like, you know Sean Dyche, he's going to have them in the changing room before the game on Thursday, and he'll be like, lads, these haven't scored for 4 fucking months.
Fuck you,
fucking make sure they don't score again. They're just going to do the lowest of lowest blocks. And we're sitting there like, we don't even know how to do a mid-block at the minute. That's what United played against us. Another low block.
We've only got the Lego blocks at the minute, boys.
Hella blocks there, you know.
I reckon we do something mad, lad, and just stick Manny in the middle or something, or Salah in the middle or something, and Shaq on the wing. Just do something mad and then put Bobby at the back, like in the midfield. Like let's do something mad. Let's try and score some.
Let's just try and send there against West.
We don't have the amount of points to be able to be risking shit like that. We just don't, bro.
We're losing, lad, anyway.
So boys, before we round up, I want to dead quick and just only the score predictions only, and then I want to ask you one last question. Score prediction for Burnley. I'm going to do my preview tomorrow, so I'm not going to say it, but 2-1.
1-0 to Liverpool.
1-0 to Liverpool, okay. And then the question I want to ask you, are we actually in? This is the point of the video, the point of the title. Are we still in the title race? I agree. I absolutely agree, Alex. We are in the title race, because if United was in the title race and Tottenham was in the title race last month, then we still are. But can we stay in it? Because I don't know if it's just because I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm used to a draw being a very, very bad result for Liverpool. Do you get what I mean?
This is for me, lad.
This month will tell us. This month will tell us if we're in it or not.
We're in a phantom league, lads. That's what we are in right now. Everyone's looking at us going, hey, this is a title challenge with Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham, Leicester, all that. Lads, Man City are the devil, bro, and they're just chilling behind everyone going, yeah.
They're the new favourites, even for me. If you had to tell me now, who are you putting your house on? I'm putting my house on, man. Yeah, man.
I think they're going to win the league, bro. Bro, not only that, they're scoring goals, lads. That's what the boss are doing. You know, he hasn't scored, ever. He only scored 2 goals in one game. It's heavy. They're probably going to win the league. We'll come back next season. We'll get some more players. Then we'll smoke them. We're going to probably have to take an L. We've had fantastic years over the last 3 years, lad. We cannot feel bad about this. We can't feel bad about it, lads. We can't.
We're still gonna win the league this year. How about that?
Hopefully, lads. I pray to the Almighty gods, lad. That City.
If there is one.
But then I think about the second best team in the league. which is Liverpool probably playing against them, lad, and I'm terrified. So we'll see,
what it is, boys. We'll see. We will see. But boys, we're going to wrap this up. Next month. Next month is the big one.
And you are winning it though. Fuck them.
Listen, they have more of a chance than us at the moment.
They're
but anyway, boys, I don't think they will have said my point on them, but we can't be chatting shit right now to them. We've got to focus on us. But anyway, boys, that will be the end of this video, the end of this LFC talk show. Thank you for joining me, the boys. I appreciate it as always.
Cop to bottom tomorrow at midday.
There we go, 12 o'clock.
On the 12 TV.
Oh. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're there and make sure you're square. But thank you for everyone who's tuned in. We got 300 people tonight and we appreciate it. But no, we will see you all later, everyone. Have a good one and peace out.
Peace out.